Welcome to our online debate. We are thrilled to have you join us for this unique opportunity to dive deeper in the world of independent documentary cinema. Together with international partners of KineDok from Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, and Croatia, we host mostly international online discussion from October to March, each focusing on one of the screened films. KineDok is an alternative distribution platform for independent documentary films from Central and Eastern Europe. Today's debate follows the screening of Snajka, Diary of Expectations, and will focus together with other international artists on the themes of their intimate films. I will introduce our guests. Tea Vidović Dalipi, Croatian sociologist, researcher and debut director of Snajka, Diary of Expectation, Intimate Diary of Relationship of Croatian Woman Tea and Roma Men Mirsad, striving to build a life together despite the weight of clashing traditions and societal pressure. There's the other, Petr Michal, Czech director, director of the Camera Tortura, is intimate exploration of film communication and creation as a young director reconnects with his estranged parents while repainting his apartment. And last but not least, Diana Groó, Hungarian director, scriptwriter, producer, and teacher, who is directing film Dear Helen, I'm Already Them, is a film letter and experimental docu-diary dedicated and addressed to her grandmother, great-grandmother, Helen, who is Holocaust survivor. Right, that will start. Let's dive to the debate. Can we start with the first clip, please?
Mirsad i ja se danas ženimo u Zagrebu. 6 mjeseci nakon što smo se upoznali na radionici teatra Putlačina. Njegovi nisu mogli doći. Vize za Hrvatsku su problem. A moji su još uvijek u šoku, jer se udajem za nezaposlenog Roma s Kosova. Mama prije svadbe 2 tjedna nije pričala sa mnom. A Mirsada nije ni zagrlila.
We just saw first minutes of the Snajka Diary of Expectation. And I'm just so curious about where is the moment when you started with all films, when you said, okay, I will film my private life. This needs to be filmed. When was it? Tea, can you start with that?
That's a good question. I mean, for me was the moment when the dress became a part of my life. So the dress is a motive of my film. And I was a student of documentary program that Restart production company I worked with on the film has. And while being a part of the program, we were, you have different exercises that you always have to do. And then all of us were mostly taking aspects that were close to us. And I was also taking motives that were a part of my life. And then I started to work on the dress. And as I finished the school, we actually realized with my mentors that it's a film. So I started to follow it as it was also a part of my life. But then, I realized that behind it's not just a dress. It's a custom, it's patriarchy, it's how I feel, how he feels, how the family feels. It was really a big picture. And yeah, I was working at the time in one organization in Croatia on the migration issues, and I was in direct contact with many persons that were coming to Croatia seeking asylum as refugees. And yeah, while talking with them, I realized, yeah, some aspects that I found were also aspects of other people's lives. So yeah, I started to follow it. I mean, mostly following my story, but I saw also the story of other people that were a part of my life. So in a way, I can say that it helped me to deal with it, to express myself also, and maybe to also realize what am I doing, I mean, in life, not just as a filmmaker.
Thank you. Was it your motivation too to deal what you are doing in your life too, Petr?
I don't know. I think I'm still trying to answer the question, what am I doing in my life every day? But the particular moment with my film was that I was feeling I'm stuck somehow. It was coming out of the feeling of being like a fish on a bank of the river, and needing to do something. And I didn't know what that something was particularly. Also, my film was being done while I was studying at school, and we had like narrow window of a couple of months when it needs to be thought through and executed in a way. So I was working in this like particular small amount of time. So yeah, I was trying to get myself somewhere to figure out like why I'm in this particular situation. And by
Right.
doing that, I discovered something which I didn't even know at that time what really was.
That's true, because you finish your film later on, like few years later than you filmed it.
Yeah, and I think it was necessary because I needed to change. I needed to estrange myself from the material. I needed to look at myself as a sort of like a film character or a different person, to apply all the experiences I got to see myself, my father in a different perspective in order to finish that. And actually, it was a couple of years before I was finishing the film. The very moments when I was working on that, it helped a lot. It gave me a lot of like new thoughts, how to approach him, myself, etc., etc.
It's very interesting how to approach somebody through the film. Diana, you are just now editing your film with your grandmother.
No, I am with my grandmother now.
Oh, sorry. With your grandmother.
And the film is dedicated to my great grandmother. So it's, but I am very lucky to have a 98 years old grandma. She's still very active, and I am very, very, very much agree with Michal. No, yes. Petr, sorry. That it takes time when you are looking the footage, how to handle yourself, how to treat yourself, because making I just watched Thea's films also. I really loved it because it's very personal. On the same time, I could see it as a movie, even as a fiction. So I see characters and main protagonist on the scene. And I think this is the most difficult for us, how to keep distance. I'm talking about the editing phase, of course, because when we are filming, what I made or what I did or what I make all the time, I just put the camera and I'm trying to document a situation like a diary. And at the end, I just go to the point that, okay, all these moments should be structured as a film that should be interesting for for the audience. So it's not only about myself, about my personal feelings, but I think the challenge how to make or edit a film so that it be interesting also for the audience, not only just a kind of private thing. So
that's very interesting, because all of you you worked or you are working with some editor. That's, we are normally talking in the documentary world about that, like, is this is the first person who is seeing the material, who is seeing, and it's so weird because like we are showing our private lives. How you working with the editor? How do you feel as a protagonist, but you are still the person who is living the film? How is these feelings about that? Can we continue with Tea?
Well, yeah, the editing process was the most important, I think, process for me. Okay, aside 10 years of creating materials and filming, but it was very, it was intense process. It was a lot of discussions and decision making. And yeah, I agree totally with Petr and Diana. Yeah, you had to deal with yourself. And, when you are sitting and you are watching 10 years of your life, it's difficult, but yeah, you have to deal with it. And then you are changing, your, the position of how you are looking at yourself. At one point, I was looking at myself in one way, then and at the second point in another way. And sometimes I couldn't even watch myself. I would go out of the room. Yeah, I'm very grateful to Jelena Maksimović, who was working with me. She taught me a lot. And yeah, our discussions were also very important decision making for the film itself. So yeah, without her, there wouldn't be a film, even though there were ideas. So it's a very important cooperation, I think. Yeah.
I can see just like all of us, we are agreeing with the how it's so hard to show ourselves on the camera and, to reflect it after that. How is it for you, Petr, to reflect yourself? You already were talking, it was more like a diary, and you are working with some diary process. How is it for you with working with Jakub Podmanický, with the editor of the film?
Well, my film wasn't really like a diary, because even though I said it was created within a short period of time, I wasn't approaching that as a diary. I was trying to come up with some framework which would work for my film. So to find out a situation that would sort of work. So if I have a glimpses of something diary-like, they are like created for the film to create the premise, in order to continue with the painting. Only I think diary thing that really happened there was the pigeon family that I had to observe. And how it was working with Jakub Podmanický, it was very helpful in a way that we really dive into all the material that I shot, and we structured that and narrowed it down, etc., etc. But in the end, I think the majority of the work of me deciding like what's too much and what's too little and what should be there and what shouldn't be there, it was left upon me to decide what part of the relationship I have with my father is showing well what's bad about our relationship and wouldn't serve any purpose, or it's symptomatic for any family relationship, any relationship between fathers and sons, and serving as a form of showing the difficulty of communications between generations and so on. So I was setting my antennas very precisely to these situations, and try to focus on them, not to make it like a humiliating story or me dealing with some old man, but sort of like put it on me as well, but I'm not the
Okay,
same.
I love it. It's like not making camera torture about the others, but about yourselves. Can
About
you
everyone, you know, it's like camera obscura. You don't know what's going to be shown. It's going to be upside down eventually.
Right. Let's show the clip of your film.
To už jenom jedno. Si ho odvezla záchranka, tu nemocníku. Jo, protože si ho mohl ubít.
A ty jsi pak jet? Nebo to byl vtip?
Jo, ty se jedí, jako se to dělalo.
No já vím, že se holuby jedí, ale otázka zněla, jestli si je pak jet, jestli si pak ty hnízda dobíral, aby si je.
No ty ona hloubo tam, to je specialista.
To tak se neodpověděl.
No ne, samozřejmě, ale tohle to už musel být normální peří jako lidský hlouby, to prostě. Dlouhý tahy, aby si tu barvu rozvez na co největší.
Aha.
Jo. Tak, řekl, když už tam máš, protože kdyby to teklo, když to začneš nadlo, tam máš tomu zbavit a to teče. Tak, a teďko to pěkně, teď to rozstínej.
When we are watching your film, we are watching all the time to trying to be near to your father and to have some relationship. I want to ask, did the filming change the dynamics between you and your family members? How did the presence of the camera influence your life, truly?
I don't know if it really changed the dynamics. It was sort of for me the final acceptance that something won't change, and that something I needed from him or wanted from him all my life wasn't happening, is not going to happen. And I needed to accept that, and I sort of had to like recreate a relationship with him by doing his part in a way. But it really worked. It worked that when I finished the film, I approached him again after many years of not talking again, and I'm trying. I'm trying because I also know that he's in his 80s now. He's not going to be here for a very long time, and even though we haven't really understood each other. Maybe we might have some moments, you know. The whole film, the finishing of this film helped me to make like great leap forward in a way, like somewhere I don't know, but it's really helped. So it was a therapy in some way.
Was it?
Yeah, I would say. I think any filmmaking is in a way therapy. Like yeah, okay. Any film you make is in a way sort of your autobiography. You are putting yourself in the film, so you're eventually dealing with your topics. You either mask it in some different films, or it's your personal film, your family film, and you cannot mask very much.
Diana, how is it with your film? Are you masking or are you open book there?
You know, this is, I think, after a while, everyone become an open book, but you can somehow control or check that what you want to be, to see on the scene. So you have actually the freedom as the director to decide that what is too much and what you don't want to, what you want to show or what you don't want to show. But it's, I think it's interesting because that's why it's really important, the presence of the editor, who sometimes can judge that, listen, that maybe you hate yourself in this scene. Maybe it's terrible. You don't want to hear what you have said. But believe me, for the audience and for the story, it's really an important part of the story. And then you step 3 steps back and you think and you fight, and then maybe at the end you agree that yes, you can let some decision decided by an outsider. It's really interesting for the structure or for the storytelling, but I think it's each personal story is different, because Pat now just talking about his father, I think this is an extraordinary scene. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the whole film, but you know, it's visually it was you decided, yes, Petr, you decided where to put the camera.
Yeah.
And you know, it's extraordinary to see the 2 layers. So your father close to the window, and also I think it's fantastic that you are working, and there is a dialogue which maybe talks about everything in 1 minute, about your relationship. I don't know how it came out. You know, it's by accident and by life, but what is really exciting, I think, when we make documentaries, that we never know what will happen, but we never know what we are going to say or react. So this is the difference when we write a fiction or when we are part of a documentary. I make both genre, but I tell you, I think documentary, I think much more exciting. It's a much bigger challenge. It takes much more time. Even although when it's not only, we are talking about not only a personal documentary, but just simply a documentary, when we are an observer, the editing phase must usually takes years, because we have to work out what do really we want to tell. In a case of fiction, you have the script, and of course you are responsible for the visual part and for the storyline. But when we are making a documentary, I think it's much bigger challenge and much more exciting than anything else. I think it's yeah.
I
And
absolutely agree.
it's a long therapy for absolutely.
Yeah,
It's for everyone.
yeah, was it the long therapy for you too through the film? Because you started, what I said, like you started film by yourself, and after that we can see in the film there is the crew, and they are helping to you, like to really see your world, not through your eyes, but see your world. And for me, it was pretty huge bridge to the so many topics around, to the 2 whole different families, whole different people who are together. Was it therapy, your film?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree what was already said. It is. I think I need, you know, when I need therapy, I need to express myself. And this was my way of expressing and communicating. And, you know, with the family from Kosovo, I couldn't find the language to communicate. So my last exercise in the film school was shown to them, and I saw a change in them. So I saw it also, it's a mean of communication with them. So, but I would agree with what Petr said, that in the end, I also accepted that things won't change. But after I finished the film and I showed them the film, and after some time passed, so the therapy continued afterwards as well, if we call it that way. But yeah, for me, it's expression and yeah, showing in a way a part of reality. So.
And did seeing the film help them understand your perspective or the dynamics within your relationships?
I would say yes, but it's not for them watching this film. It's not the same as someone who doesn't know us, you know, because I saw them when you show them, they stand up, they take water. So for us, it was also making a decision where they're going to watch the film. So they were in the audience in the cinema, because there they had to sit with the audience for 1 hour and 15 minutes and really watch film being concentrated. I showed it, for example, to my parents, but then my father was all the time making comments. Why didn't you put more of me reconstructing your flat? You know, I would just sit down and watch the film and be quiet. So, you know, I think all of them really saw the film when they were in the cinema with the audience. And it was afterwards when we talked, it was a beautiful experience, because they also felt the reactions of the people who were around them and with them. But when I talked with them, they say I can't perceive it as a film because it's our life and I know what happened. So it's a different point of view. But in a way, yes, we did talk a lot about it, even though I don't speak Albanian language. So for me, it was difficult to really communicate with Mirsad's parents, but he did, and then we talked. So there was a perspective. But yeah, as Petr said, you also have to accept that some things will not ever change, and it helped me to understand it.
Thank you very much for this scene. For me, it's one of the most deep, most very intimate, because you are showing yourself with your partner, like how you are navigate the situation when you don't understand of the culture, don't understand of the language. How was it to work with this scene and the final edit?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that personally, this was a very difficult experience for me in my life. And then it was filmed, and I couldn't watch it for some times. I also have to be honest. And when we were in the editing room, I saw some things that I forgot, or that I don't, or maybe I wanted to forget them. So it was, you know, facing with what happened, and yeah, how I reacted, how other people reacted. But yeah, this is this clash that we were dealing with. So yeah, I mean, when I was filming, you asked me that also previously. This was filmed by the crew, the external crew who were following us. And I mean, I didn't know what's going to happen. We decided we are going there, we will film, but what is going to happen will happen. So I didn't had the idea that this scene is going to happen. And then, yeah, to have it, it was, yeah, beautiful to have it also for the film. But yeah, it was...
Maybe this scene did help to understand to the Kosovo family, to what was happening in you.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it was a lot of pressure, you know, when you are organized this kind of weddings and ceremonies. It's difficult, and I mean, we did had a lot of discussions, what happened and so on. But yes, it's a perspective for them that was, yeah, also something to understand among our relationship, especially when there is a small kid also in the middle, trying to understand what's happening and what's going on. But yeah.
I have to say I really like this scene from one particular reason, because when everything was very loud, like you couldn't hear the conversation, and it sort of like looked for me as a symptomatic of what the film is dealing about, that everything is incredibly close and incredibly loud, and it's very hard to navigate in it, like what's happening, what's happening, why, what's happening for what is the meaning of it. and you were describing that there as well. So it was very nice, like complete pack of everything for me particularly.
For me too. Well done, Tea. It was really like.
And then
As I remember, sorry.
Diana, yeah.
Yeah, just I remember that this scene followed by that Tea, you finally just joined for the dancing circle. And for me, that part was also very interesting because I was watching your face and I was trying to find out that for you, is it an easy process, you know, just to dance there? Actually, I just felt that first you felt an absolute outsider, and step by step, you became part of this circle, and it was really, really important that your husband was holding your hand or something. Maybe I don't remember well, but I just really remember the moment when you decide to join together dancing. Also, your daughter is with you. Yeah, your husband was heading her, and that was a moment, you know, when you decided and you went, three of us there, and at the beginning I just felt that, wow, this is somehow joining to a culture, being part of this circle, and I just felt, wow, this is a process. I really loved that moment. I don't know what I would be very curious. What did you feel when you joined to the circle?
I was lost in translation totally. Yeah, even though you know what's happening, but you don't know what's happening. Something is happening because you don't know the rules of the tradition. And what actually happened was that everybody forgot to explain me the rules. And they thought that I know the rules, and I didn't know the rules, and I didn't know what to do, and everything that I did was wrong. And then they were angry at me, and I didn't understood why they were angry at me. So it was yeah, I was this what Petr said, it was so loud in my head. I wanted to just escape from there. So but yeah, it was difficult for me, but for Mirsad was even more difficult because he was being dragged by everyone, by me, by the family. And then there was the aha moment. Aha, we forgot to tell you, because he thought the mother told me, the mother thought that the sister told me, and there was a mess. But yeah, it was in a way, as you said, Diana, it was making peace, going there in the dancing arena, and even not knowing how to dance, but you are at least there and you are trying to do something. And it was also interesting in the editing room. I realized that I was the only one who was laughing, who was having a smile on the face, and I was like, why aren't they smiling? And it was like after many years, I asked Mirsad, is it not allowed to smile? And he said, yes, it's not allowed to smile. I didn't know that until the editing room came, because you have to be, serious, and you have to show respect. And I was smiling, and I was not even aware of that. Yeah.
Well, and I was actually asking myself the whole time the same question. Why is nobody enjoying that?
Yeah,
Why is everybody so serious, especially
they are enjoying,
the
but
bride?
way, yeah.
Different way. And watched
But-
so many cameras on the set. There were so many cameras. That was so interesting. I was like,
but it
oh
was
my
a
God.
mix of the wedding cameras and the film cameras.
Yes,
And then in one moment, the wedding camera crew had a car accident. So the film crew filmed the wedding for the wedding couple. It was, total mix.
That's
there was
amazing.
also a situation, I think, when your brother was having his wedding.
Croatian wedding, yeah.
Yeah, your husband was confused as well when you were going out
Emotionally.
to the street, And he was more concerned about the traffic and the red lights and everything, what you can do and you cannot do. But for you, it was something that doesn't need to be explained. You know, we are having wedding, everybody will understand our happiness. For him, it was something strange, or it seemed like.
Yeah.
That is great note. Thank you, Petr. Let's play the other clip.
Mogu snimiti da mi ispričaš ovo što se sad dogodilo?
Nije mi ništa dogodilo. Mi odamo van, Faj vozi cigo. Iz čista mira, znači probudi se, izađeš van.
Da, on je meni rekao cigo.
I meni.
I tebi. To je, mislim, ja sam baš osjetila sam da je rekao i meni, ne samo tebi. Mislim, ja sam se jako uzrujala.
Nisam, ali nervozan sam bio, imao sam u glavi da ga
Da, ali što ćeš dobiti s tim da nekog sad pretučeš? Ti bi sad njega srušio s bicikla i prebio ga.
Šta bi dobio od toga je da bi možda unutra osjećat free. A Slevis nije bio lud. Ko je nekom šta rekao, frajer je bio crnac i tukao je dok je ubio sve.
A mislim, jesi ti normalan?
Jesam normalan, više...
Jesi ti normalan da govoriš da ćeš ubiti nekog zato što ti kaže cigo? Pa mi...
Kufer mi to.
Dobro.
How did you balance the personal intimacy of your story with its universal social themes? All of you have very social themes in your films. Tea, can you start with the answer?
Well, I'm by profession sociologist, and while filming, I was working for one NGO in Croatia. We were working on the issue of migration and integration, and I was on a daily basis in contact with asylum seekers and refugees. So while making the film, I knew that I don't want to make what I was already doing on a daily basis in my work. I don't want to talk so much about this activist thing, but I want to kind of put it in the film, like to show what these political and social aspects are doing on a personal level to the people, to the persons. So, and also this scene that we just saw was like the situations that were happening not only to Mirsad, but also to other persons. It was mostly males that I was working with in Croatia. So I tried to put it in, but I also have to say that, looking at myself, now after so many years, and seeing my reaction here, I'm ashamed of it, because how I talked to him, it was also a personal development of myself and growing up. But of course, he reacts like this. It was me being his partner and feeling what happened to him. And then this pacifist young activist who asks him, "Are you crazy that you would because they want to tell you this? Of course you want to do this." Of course.
But at the end, it was really important. That's why it was really important at the end of your film. That when you mentioned that your daughter, when I don't know, people said around you that she has darker skin and so on, and the anger and your emotion was, I just felt that, wow, this is the improvement, or this is the process of the way that you are heard the same way if you were she. I don't know. I think it was very, very important scene. Both scenes. And I think it's also, you have to have the courage, to show yourself and your reaction and so on. And on the same time, your husband, actually at the moment, from the very beginning, I just really felt his anger and his hurt, and what he's added. It, of course, it's not a physical punch, it's just a kind of, inner anger and emotion, and you know that you imagine that how you react on this kind of notes and hurts. And I love that. I really love that at the end you mentioned the story with your daughter, and you are already, you know, with the birth of your daughter, it's no question that where are you standing at. But I tell you, you should not be ashamed at all, because it's natural as a peacemaker, and wow, let's be civilized and so on. But I thought I remembered the very beginning of your film, the first scene, which was this clip was shown. You have such a bravery to tell the details of your marriage that your mom and your family didn't accept, and or your mom has not talked to you for 2 weeks. Wow, you know, it's a kind of wow, brave things that you start with a very strong beginning. This is the situation the story starts with. And I thought I wanted to ask that when your mother or your parents, I could see your father try to be much more easier, or he was easier. But when your mom watched the film, when you finished, what was her reaction?
Yeah, I mean, she said this is how it was. I mean, we cannot change it. It's the truth. But then we talked as mothers, because I became a mother after a while, and I told her I would react the same way if Frida comes to me today and says, I'm marrying a guy that you don't know and he's unemployed. I would tell her, darling, it's not a smart idea to do that. So I understand my mother. Yeah. And I mean, we have a very discussion, relationship where we have a lot of discussions. So it's we had a good discussion after the film as well. Yeah. So
and we can feel all these things in your film, how you are a human being, how you can reflect yourself, reflect your decisions, what you did, and that's, I think, very powerful. And thank you very much for that.
I hide myself. I think this is also important. Yeah, you do some things and maybe you're ashamed of them, but yeah, I have to show them, because it's a personal development. It's also develop a character in a film, but it's the truth. It's what happened, and I can't hide from it. And it's also, in a way, what my colleagues were experiencing as well, the people that I worked with. So it's my bubble. the NGO bubble that I lived in.
Peter, how did you navigate these layers without losing focus? Because like you have the layer of the not understanding between family members, to maybe lack of the self-reflecting mode of your father and your mother. How was it? How did you navigate these things?
How did I navigate these? Well, I don't know where to start, honestly, or how to answer.
Hard questions.
Yeah, well, it was I think mostly happening in editing room, when I was really trying to focus on narrow detail or small details, how they are reacting, what they are, when they stop, when they pause, or something like that. I was trying to construct it in the editing room mostly. And I was also looking at myself, how I'm pushing them into the answers they probably don't want to give, or into conversation that they probably don't want to have, but I want to have the conversation. Whether it's right or not, I cannot say. It's sort of like happened. But nobody was, pointing a gun to anyone. So nobody was really into the point of into the point of some like mortal danger or something. Like everybody could leave. I could leave. I could stop it. I haven't. They could say I don't want to answer anymore. But it was important for me that during the shooting, I noticed maybe that I'm too invasive, for example, with my father. And I had to, by being too invasive, I realized I'm too invasive. Probably should listen more. And then I realized that he's sort of like old man, scared for some way. And he doesn't know how to react because I am like a minefield, and he doesn't know how to walk around. So he tries to walk in. So he tries to walk around and not to start anything. And I had to accept that, and I put that in the film because it was interesting for me, change of perspective, and also by seeing that a lot of things won't be told or shown. There'll be like sort of like a glimpses of what they might think, what might happen, how they really feel. But when you are dealing with a generation that nobody was really interested about their thoughts or their feelings, they don't know how to express that because nobody cared, and they don't know how to do. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to manifest that. It's not sort of like part of their life. They sort of feel it could be something strange. So the most important moment for me with my father is when I'm thanking him for the fact that he came to help me with the painting, and that I'm happy that he came. And in his voice is sort of like weakness for a moment, weakness that's never there, but for that very moment it is. For me, it's sort of like a manifestation of happiness or feelings or something like that, because at the same time he's able to crush that in a following sentence.
Yeah, that's him. Thank you very much for your bravery. Like all of you are going through your private lives and showing us to things what we know somehow, what we understand, what we can feel, which is like great to have it through the something so special, which is like document. Thank you for today's debate, Diana, Petr. Thank you very much. I'm just so curious about your next projects, and I'm curious about Diana's finishing films. Thank you for attending today, and see you next time. For these who are watching this debate, you can still watch the film by Tea Vidović Dalipi, Snajka's Diary of Expectation. And let's see you in some next amazing occasion. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.